The way I did this for my outline is, oh, wrong story. Hold on. There's my outline. Found it. Okay. Hello dears, Natalie Locke here with episode 9 of Write the Story, where I give you the writing prompt out of this book and the 10 words that the book tells us to include. I usually take about 5 minutes to outline, and you can join in on this process too. After I give you the prompt and the 10 words, pause the video, write your own story. It takes me about 20 minutes, sometimes more, after I'm done with the outline. And you can come back to the video and I'll let you know how my outline changed to how I wrote the story, what I liked about the story overall, and then my favorite line and my least favorite line. So here's the prompt. Friends on the town. The 10 words to include are pizza, booth, college, restore, collection, rip, buffalo wings. Yes, I recognize that's 2 words. Chiffon, butcher, and display. The way I did this for my outline is I thought of 2 friends catching up, sitting in a pizza booth. One orders pizza, the other one orders buffalo wings. And I originally put in the outline, but before I was even finished with the outline, I thought, hey, they haven't seen each other since college. Maybe they're college roommates or something, and they're catching up. But then as the story evolved, I realized, no, let's keep them in college. So they're college students named Carly and Gemma. One of them is an artist and left her painting outside, and she left the painting in the rain, and she just wants to rip it up. So I use that. Whereas rip it up like a butcher. So I got 2 words there. Another idea was I was thinking one of them is maybe digging in their purse and they say they have a collection of, and I put a blank in there, but I ended up filling in with pens. I said I was imagining the painting to be actually really good, and it had this sheer look to it as if chiffon, what you were looking through chiffon, which I meant I had to actually look up different ways to use chiffon. Apparently there's a chiffon cake and chiffon material. I was thinking of the material. And I wanted to make sure that it is kind of sheer, like you can look through it. You don't want to make a dress out of just chiffon unless you have multiple layers or another way to cover up. Or not cover up. It's new age, 2021. The friend who isn't the painter is trying to boost the morale of the friend who is. And I said that the painting should be on display in a museum as kind of a confidence boost. And the conversation was kind of just don't give up on your dreams. So let's see. They slid in a pizza booth, ordered buffalo wings. I said that they were still in college. I wrote in here originally, haven't seen each other since college, but I changed that. Restore. I actually didn't write restore down. Oh, no, I did. I said that the person asked, hey, are you ever going to restore the painting? And then I say, no, I want to rip it up like a butcher, and respond that. And display. So I used all the words in my outline layout, but I didn't stay the same between the outline and the story per the normal with me. The things that changed is I still use college in the sense of a building, but I made the characters still in college versus out of college. So that's one change. I ended up changing the way I did collection, and you'll hear about it when I read the story. So I still said sheer like chiffon, but I changed the way that was approached. So I'm not sure if that counts as a change or not. I'm going to count it since it wasn't originally in the reference of the painting having a sheer texture or sheer visual. So I'll change that. So the 3 C's apparently did not mean to do that. Now I'll read the story to you, and then you can talk about what I like about it, what I didn't like about it, and maybe even compare to how your story goes. Carly and Gemma slid into the booth. The waitress is quick to their table for their drink, pizza, and buffalo wing orders. Gemma's gaze drops to her lap. Carly leans forward, trying to catch Gemma's eyes. Hey, Carly breaks the silence. I'm sure you can fix it. You're an excellent artist. Just let it dry overnight and reattack it tomorrow. Gemma shook her head. I just want to rip it up. That painting will get an F anyways. No use trying to restore it. Carly placed her palm on the table. There is no need to butcher that soon-to-be masterpiece. It should be on display after you put your final touches on it. Gemma shook her head again. If you were the professor, I wouldn't have to churn anything in, and you'd give me an A off sheer potential. That potential is as sheer as chiffon. You can still see it even if it isn't clear yet. This is just one project for one college class. How else am I supposed to start my collection of your work if you don't finish this piece? You've always been my best cheerleader. Gemma smiled and placed her hand on top of Carly's. Carly flipped her palm up and gave Gemma's hand a squeeze. That's more like it. I'm here to keep the faith when you lost yours. The waitress walked over to their table with their food. Come on, eating makes everything better, and it's my treat this time. Just promise me you'll sign the painting when you're done. Gemma smiled. I will. This story was great. As you can see, I did have 3 changes. Sheer chiffon stayed, but as a simile, but it also was different because it was a play on the word sheer and the focus wasn't really on the word chiffon. But I really like this story. I like that there was, I was worried that I wasn't going to have any drama to it, really. I thought originally if these 2 characters weren't in college, it was like they used to be in college. It was just going to be a catching up discussion, and that just seems like info dumping, and I didn't want to do that. With this story though, I'm glad I kept them in college. I'm glad I showed turmoil on Gemma's part of thinking she's not going to be any good. I mean, this short excerpt scene could very well be in any story anywhere, like between 2 friends, especially if it's done in college, a new adult novel or something like that. I could see this scene being there. I've noticed actually a lot of my stories are mostly from a woman's perspective, but I like that. I like showing the turmoil of a woman, of the doubt and everything. Even though actually with the last story, I showed a male having doubt on himself. Doubt is not determined by someone's sex whatsoever. So I think anyone can relate to it, and showing it in another instance was good. As well as, unlike the last story, Max was kind of shot down and he ended up pulling into himself thinking he's not gonna be able to do anything. Whereas this story, Gemma was having doubt on herself, and she actually had a friend to say, no, you're great, you're awesome, you're gonna do great things. Like, having that support is so important when you're doubting yourself. And I think that's why I like this story. It was almost an evolution between the last story and this story. I didn't even think of the similarities between the 2 until just now. With this story though, I still have a free line almost at the bottom. I actually did paragraphs with this one a little bit to break it up so it wasn't just a big block. Getting all the words in was a little bit easier for me. I think I counted just a little over 250 words for this story, where normally it's under 300, which I still was. And with this story, yes, I had a lot of dialogue between the characters, but I also feel proud of myself for the nonverbals of Carly putting her hand on the table going, hey, like trying to get Gemma's attention. And then when Gemma put her hand on top of Carly's and then Carly turned around and turned her hand over and squeezed. I thought that was a good nonverbals to convey this bond that these 2 girls have. Now for the time to tell you what I'm not proud of. My least favorite line. So my least favorite line is actually a line that I didn't use at all. I realized through this whole story, not once did I say, Gemma said, Carly said, or any variation of such. I have nonverbals of what they're doing while they're speaking, such as when Carly says, "Hey," Carly breaks the silence. "I'm sure you can fix it." Like, so you know Carly's speaking in that moment, but at the same time, "I didn't, you said." And I feel that that's probably left over from middle school or high school or somewhere in there, where it was always this aversion of said because I used it too much. And now I feel like I'm still on the other end of that rubber band snap where I'm almost refusing to use it. And that's not good, because that is where we get to a situation that I like to call "look who's talking." No, seriously, whose line is it anyway? Any other of the puns that hopefully you appreciate. I'm kind of missed the mark there. And so I think that's my least favorite line, least favorite overall arching issue with this piece. But now to make myself feel better and end on a good note, let me tell you my favorite line. I think my favorite line is kind of the support that anyone would love to have. And I really feel like that is conveyed when Gemma tells Carly, "If you were the professor, I wouldn't have to churn anything in, and you'd give me an A off sheer potential." If we were judged off our potential, I feel like that potential would become kinetic energy in no second flat. If someone just saw the potential, and that, you kind of think in an image of someone being really hard on a student, going, "I know you're better than this. This is crap. You know, you have all the potential in the world. You're squandering it away." I don't mean that type of support potential. I mean like what Carly is giving Gemma, where Carly's saying, "No, you got this." Like, she is being a cheerleader. And she knows Gemma's potential and wants to support that, wants to cultivate that, wants to allow it to grow. And I think that is the support that so many people need. Just a little bit of faith that we can do something, just a little bit. And I find that really beautiful, because it's a lot of times that little bit of faith could be seeing someone else accomplish it. Like in my job, it is mostly men working. But when I see a woman in leadership, I think, I could do that. I could be a leader too. And it's very moving for me to see that. And so seeing someone already have paved the way gives me faith that I can change that cement sidewalk to asphalt or something, or dirt road to asphalt, whatever the case may be, to make it better, maybe easier, wider, so we can get more people. I have analogies for everything. Stick with me. I think having that faith, whether it's from a person actually being your cheerleader, or whether it's seeing someone achieve the things that you want to achieve yourself, or just you seeing a void in the market or the industry or what have you, you seeing a void and going, "I know what we can fill there. I know the perfect thing." That is the faith I'm talking about. And I feel like that line of being graded off sheer potential, I feel like we skip that sometimes. We need to kind of grade ourselves off our potential before we grade the final masterpiece. You know, if we just grade the masterpiece, we don't know what part went wrong if it's a B, but we were shooting for an A. Knowing the plan kind of helps. Hopefully that makes sense. Sorry, I go off, like all my stories I'm noticing, they always have these like deeper societal meetings because I treat everything like a philosophy discussion somehow. I appreciate you sticking through it. Thanks for sticking with me for episode 9. There are 100 prompts, by the way, in case you're wondering how I'm handling this. There is 100 prompts. I plan to record every single one of them and share them with you, how I created stuff. And as always, I don't have ownership of anything I created. If the writing prompt sparks you to write an entire novel, awesome. If my idea sparks you to expand upon that idea, to write a novel or a short story or what have you, go for it. I have no ownership over any of this. I am just here to share how my writing process develops, and hopefully it will help you internally recognize your own writing process and how you can be a better writer, because it's kind of like swimming and riding a bike. You're not going to get better unless you keep on getting in the pool, getting on the bike. You're just not going to get better unless you exercise and practice. So keep practicing. I love these flash fictions. It's like a little power workout for my mind, and then I'm good to go. As always, have a good day, have a good week, have a good month, have a good year.